Today, we will be looking into the hidden connections of the Del Galdo Law Group and their political ties. This investigation is inspired by a community activist by the name of Jedediah Brown. Brown's impactful work surrounding Tiffany Henyard has drawn significant attention, and in response, a local YouTuber with less influence filed a petition against him citing harassment, doxing, and stalking allegations. This move appears to be in an attempt to silence Brown's powerful activism. But let's focus on the bigger picture. The Del Galdo Law Group has deep political ties, notably with Michael Madigan. These connections raise serious concerns about corruption and misuse of power in Dalton and Thornton Township. Our goal is to uncover the truth and promote transparency. Now let's take a look at a clip from Jedediah Brown's live, where one of his investigators revealed findings from a lead provided by a resident named Paul Roberts.
Is going to show you all a connection that was made out of information that they got started with from Paul. This is their case. You all please welcome my investigator to come on the screen. How you doing?
Hello. How you doing, Jed?
Awesome.
Hello, INA family.
Awesome. And so you're going to help us tonight understand something that Paul initially extracted and you took a deeper dive in.
Yes, because Paul is the money man, he was following the money. So I then, or the team of investigators that we have, because there are definitely loads of moving parts behind you, Jed. There's lots of things going on in the background. We have an amazing team. We looked into the smaller details.
Wait. For the record, y'all, it's not Lori. It's not Lori. But they did what they did. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Definitely the spirit of Lori, though. So what I would like to go back to is the article from the Lansing Journal. So this is what, from the tip that we got from Paul, this is how we began to connect some other dots. So in this article from the Lansing Journal, on February 13th, there was a Thornton Township meeting where the residents were locked out of the meeting. Tiffany was not present at this particular meeting, so they voted in a pro temp. Pro temp was Mr. Jerry Jones, I believe his name is. Then they proceeded to call Tiffany over the phone. They called her over the phone because she wanted them to approve some invoices. In this particular excerpt of the article, you can see right there where it says, during the meeting, Gonzalez asked if anyone knew the purpose of 5 payments each of $10,000. So this is what Paul was talking about, and he thought it was odd. That's a lot of money for one invoice going to one place. And it was to be paid to this company called Cornerstone Government Affairs. So that led our investigative team to begin to look into this company called Cornerstone Government Affairs. So that will take us here. So Cornerstone Government Affairs is a political action committee. It is a committee that raises funds for your city. If you were the mayor of the city, then you will hire these people and consult with them and have them lobby for you to bring funds and grants and things to your city. So for this particular branch, they have several branches. The branch in Illinois is located in Springfield, and I just want to say, Paul is a resident, just like all of you listening. The only thing he did was research on his own. This is all public information. As you can see, I left at the top the website for this political action group, so you can go there and actually visit their website. This is public information. On the website, they list the team for Springfield. Under the team, there's 10 people on this team. They all do different things. They have specialties in different areas. So William Cusino, he is the political specialist. So I'm going to give you a few facts about William, if that's okay, Jed. I'll give them a few facts about William Cusino. So we'll go to the next slide. Well, we'll wait. His job previous to working for this company, he was the issues director for the Speaker of the House, Michael Madigan. This is around 2016 and 2015. During that time, he is the issues director. Some of you may want to say, well, what is the issues director? The issues director is the person who handles problems. They are the problem person. If you having a problem with somebody not voting your way, this is the man that you send to take care of that vote. And when I say take care of it, I mean he's going to sway them to vote the way that the Speaker of the House or whoever he's working for wants them to vote. That is his job. Please keep that in mind. He was also the political director of the Democratic Party of Illinois at that time. So this man has a lot of connections in the political arena. In Springfield, in D.C. I mean, he has a very long reach. He's been in politics for over 20 years now. So he knows a lot of people. So as I began to dig on and go further on Mr. Cusino, I told you that previous that was his job. So I went from that to go back and see, okay, what did he do as the issues director? So this article came up, the Chicago Sun-Times. Like I said, as a resident, this is all public information. You can look this up. During his tenure with the Speaker of the House, Michael Madigan, there was a political scandal that happened between his administration or the people that work for him in his office and ComEd. So they were going through a bribery scandal with the Speaker of the House. The excerpt that I took from this article, and there's a lot in the article, but this is the particular portion that relates to us connecting dots in Dalton. It says, Cusino told jurors he received an immunity letter from the U.S. Attorney's Office at the request of his lawyers, Michael Del Galdo and Sean Sullivan. Such a letter would typically prevent a witness from invoking the Fifth Amendment on the witness stand. Del Galdo has a long time ties to the Madigan administration. So, where do we know Del Galdo from? Is he Tiffany's lawyer? You mean to tell me that Del Galdo has deep ties in politics? He knows a lot of people. Allegedly, he could be due favors because this man, Will Cusino, was given immunity for his testimony, which means it didn't matter what he said on the stand. He cannot be prosecuted for it. But he also cannot say he plead the fifth. He has to answer the questions. That was the arrangement. Allegedly, possibly, these were some theories that we came up with. This may be why Tiffany feels like she can't be touched. She has the lawyer that got the man that was in the big ComEd bribery scheme an immunity letter. Why would he not do the same thing for her? I mean, she's been paying him the township money. He's riding around in a Bentley. He's living good. So why would she not do the same thing for him? Of course, this is allegedly. But you are seeing in black and white the facts of the matter. How these things relate. how and why the trustees feel like help is not coming. Because all of these people are connected. Okay.
In a January 25th filing, Del Galdo said Bethany's attempts to delve into inaccuracies in the financial filings presented to her by Del Galdo are based on a misunderstanding of Michael's and his law firm's tax returns. In the filing, Del Galdo said he serves as the sole shareholder in his law firm, which is organized as an S-corp. So he said, 100% of the firm's income profits flow through his individual tax return. He said this tax filing method results in phantom income, producing what appear to be inaccuracies in an otherwise accurate accounting of, he says, is his actual net income. According to the court documents, Del Galdo has financial interests in other corporations identified in court documents as D4 Holdings, 122243 South Harlem, Privity Consulting, and MBN Holding. Del Galdo also has invested in Southwest Community News Group and Southwest Regional Publishing, which publish a number of suburban newspapers, the documents said. In the course of serving subpoenas for financial records on the newspapers and Del Galdo's firm, Bethany also subpoenaed Michael Madigan in July 2018. Del Galdo responded by lodging an emergency motion to quash the Madigan subpoena, saying Bethany should know, from information already in her hands, Madigan has no financial interest in Del Galdo's law group or the newspapers. While the divorce has been playing out, the family conflict has also been on display in separate lawsuits over Del Galdo's role as Cicero's town attorney. In one of the suits, Del Galdo is accused of legal malpractice and conspiracy. Bethany's father, Eugene Potempa, and brothers, Tim and Pat Potempa, run Tough Car Inc., a towing company, which inked an exclusive contract with Cicero in June 2005, 1 month after Bethany and Del Galdo wed. According to the Potempa suit, Del Galdo acted as attorney for both Tough Car and Cicero in arranging the contract. The suit further alleged Del Galdo tried to hide his family relationship to the Potempas from any FOIA requests by having another party sign the towing contract on the Potempas' behalf. In addition, the Potempa suit alleged that as the Del Galdo divorce proceedings began, Del Galdo schemed to have Cicero drop Tough Car, both in retaliation for the divorce and to conceal his alleged questionable dealings between Cicero and Tough Car. Cicero ended its relationship with Tough Car in 2015, prompting Tough Car to sue the town. That litigation remains pending.
Michael Del Galdo, a prominent lawyer representing several Chicago suburbs, was embroiled in a contentious divorce with his estranged wife, Bethany. The divorce case uncovered allegations about Del Galdo's financial dealings and his connections with influential political figures, including Illinois House Speaker Michael Madigan. Bethany tried to reveal Del Galdo's earnings and financial ties, claiming he had not fully disclosed his income and investments. Del Galdo resisted these efforts, leading to the legal battle over subpoenas and FOIA requests. Additionally, Del Galdo was accused of legal malpractice and conspiracy, separate lawsuits related to his role as Cicero's town attorney and his connections to a towing company with his wife's family. These allegations suggested potential conflicts of interest and unethical behavior, complicating his professional and personal life. So there you have it. That's a little bit about Del Galdo. Now let's look at Michael Madigan and his participation in this ComEd bribery case.
A close longtime staffer for former Illinois House Speaker Michael J. Madigan took the stand in the ComEd bribery trial Thursday, testifying under immunity about secretly recorded 2018 discussions about House leadership in which a longtime Madigan confidant participated. Will Cusino, who served as the Speaker's issues director, and as political director of the Democratic Party of Illinois, is the closest person to Madigan that jurors have heard from so far. Cusino told jurors he received an immunity letter from the U.S. Attorney's Office at the request of his lawyers, Michael Del Galdo and Sean Sullivan. Such a letter would typically prevent a witness from invoking the Fifth Amendment on the witness stand. Del Galdo has longtime ties to Madigan's political operation.
Now let's start connecting the dots. The DOTTS. Michael Madigan was named in the divorce case involving Michael Del Galdo as someone to investigate regarding Del Galdo's financial dealings. Will Cusino, who served as Michael Madigan's issue director and political director of the Democratic Party of Illinois, later became lobbyist and testified on Madigan's behalf. His testimony was secured through a letter of immunity requested by his lawyer, Michael Del Galdo. Additionally, Cornerstone Government Affairs has been receiving payments from Thornton Township. Now, let's explore other cases where Cusino's assistance was pivotal.
The Chicago Sun-Times wrote, "Elusive former top aide offers inside look at how Michael Madigan wielded power and helped muster votes on bill pushed by ComEd." Jurors in the ComEd bribery trial on Thursday heard the rare testimony of a former top staffer to one-time Illinois House Speaker Michael Madigan, who, like his boss, was often seen but not heard in public as crucial decisions were made in Springfield. Will Cusino took the witness stand after securing letters from the feds granting him immunity and making clear he's not a target of an investigation. Then he listened as prosecutors played a December 2018 call he'd participated in and which was secretly recorded by the FBI. Madigan could be heard in one of his so-called Sunday morning meetings seeking strategic advice about who should serve on his upcoming leadership team in the Illinois General Assembly. It showed that Madigan not only included his longtime friend and confidant Michael McClain in high-level decisions affecting Illinois House Democrats, but he actively sought McClain's advice even after McClain retired as a ComEd lobbyist in 2016. Cusino had served as Madigan's issues director and political director of the Democratic Party of Illinois before becoming a lobbyist himself by the time of the call. The elusive Cusino, who spoke softly and was often told to raise his voice, took his star turn in the trial of McClain and 3 other former political power players. Former ComEd CEO Ann Pramaggiore, ex-ComEd lobbyist John Hooker, and one-time City Club President Jay Doherty.
In the House, different from the Senate, in the House, the appointment of the majority leader should be the appointment of the Speaker, because the majority leader plays a key role in House operations. And when I appointed Barbara Curry as the majority leader, I did not appoint her because she was a woman. I appointed her because I thought that she would do the best job as the majority leader, and I would fight. And I'm more than willing to tell anybody who wants to listen to that. So, I understand we have a lot of people walking around trying to find things to complain about. But every once in a while, the Speaker gets to do what he wants to do. Every once in a while. Hi, Will.
Hey, how are you?
Good, good. You sound tired.
It's been a long day. That's okay. Nothing wrong with busy days, right?
How's the dark side?
It's stressful, but in a different way, It's nothing will be as stressful as those campaign days, though. So,
Well,
it was good training.
Yeah, and as long as we always remember who our real client is.
Yep.
It's not easy, but it mollifies it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I missed all this evening because I was with him. And I just said, sorry, I can't be there. So, yep. It's easy to keep your priorities straight if you remember that. Yep.
Jurors learned that Cusino shared with McClain the names of lawmakers not expected to be present when Fija headed for a vote. And they learned that Madigan dispatched Cusino to rescue the bill after Cusino realized it didn't have enough votes to pass. Prosecutors also revealed through Cusino that former Madigan staffer Shaw de Cremer made payments to two Madigan allies, former Cook County Recorder of Deeds Edward Moody and former State Representative Edward Eddie Acevedo, after de Cremer became a lobbyist. In a text, de Cremer allegedly sent a photo of a ComEd check worth $14,250 to Cusino, who was considering a move into the private sector at the time. "That's going to be what you make in a week," de Cremer allegedly wrote in a message to Cusino. Cusino replied, "I wish. As long as I don't have an inch of employees to pay out of my check, I'll be okay." Finally, jurors heard an April 2018 call between McClain and Cusino, in which McClain asked Cusino how he liked the dark side.
As you can see, these players are deeply interwoven. Del Galdo has ties to Madigan, who is connected to Cusino. Del Galdo also represents Cusino as his lawyer. These individuals share a common mindset, and to work with them, one must think like them. Tiffany Henyard, much like Madigan, believes in appointing only those who share her vision and will bend to her will. There's much more involved here, and this is only scratching the surface. Madigan has been heavily criticized for how he handled sexual assault allegations, with Cusino providing assistance. Does that sound familiar? But if you continue watching, I have included videos detailing what happened to Madigan's chief of staff, who despite having immunity, chose to lie under oath and was charged with perjury. Madigan is currently facing federal racketeering and bribery charges. Now, this context sheds a light on why Tiffany feels so empowered. Del Galdo represented the most powerful man in Chicago, and now Tiffany claims to be the most powerful woman in the Southlands of Chicago. With Del Galdo by her side, perhaps she is. Furthermore, Tiffany Henyard is making 5 payments of $10,000 each to Cornerstone Government Affairs, the same company that Cusino works for. This financial maneuver adds another layer to her influence and control. So I'll continue to dive deeper, and I'll see what other connections I can make. But until the next video, stay safe and keep questioning everything in government.
He was Mike Madigan's right-hand man. Today, Tim Mapes, the former chief of staff to the powerful Speaker of the Illinois House, learned he will be spending 2.5 years of his life behind bars for lying to protect his old boss and others. CBS 2 political reporter Chris Ty was in court as the verdict came down. He has the latest from the Dirksen Federal Building.
Tim Mapes had immunity from prosecution, but a jury last year determined that he lied anyway. The judge in this case, who says residents of Illinois are crying out for accountability, he says he's still curious as to why Mapes practiced what's called the law of omerta, not ratting on your friends, to save Mike Madigan, a man who in the end didn't save Mapes. Neither Mapes nor his attorney spoke to reporters as they left court today. Mapes said he was humble and remorseful, but still maintains his innocence. The judge says he's not sure how both of those can be true. When the feds began circling the wagons around the ComEd 4 and former Speaker Madigan, they say Mapes sat down in front of a grand jury and began lying to them. The feds say he brazenly lied, putting his cronies above the residents of Illinois. In the end, Madigan was charged. He goes on trial later this year. Last year, 4 others were found guilty in the ComEd bribery case and will be sentenced later this year. Mapes' attorneys say he lied just 7 times over 600 questions. The judge could have sentenced him to double the time, but he took into consideration his age 69, as well as other factors. There were over 100 letters written to this judge on behalf of Tim Mapes, some by people who are current and former office holders in Illinois. Mapes' team asked that those letters remain under seal. The judge said no, the vast majority of them will be released in the coming months. Mapes remains a free man until June 11th, when he is to surrender to the feds. At the Dirksen Federal Building, Chris Ty, CBS 2 News.
So, with all this breaking news, a looming question right now, what does this all mean for the former House Speaker Michael Madigan, Illinois' famous and formerly extremely powerful state legislator charged in a separate racketeering indictment?
Chuck Gowdy joining us right now. Chuck, of course, you have been following this for years now, so that big follow-up, how does this impact the Madigan trial, which is now set for next spring, right?
Not only next spring, but April Fool's Day is the trial date, Judy and Ravi. Some might say that's fitting. Mike Madigan, of course, enjoys keeping his blinds down at his house on the southwest side tonight. You can rest assured that they are very tight. He is, if he's not already talking to his attorneys about what to do next, it will happen very early tomorrow morning. I mean, this is the worst case scenario for what amounted to now a de facto trial of Mike Madigan. Many of the same issues, many of the same players. This might as well have been Mike Madigan on trial, and now you see a slam dunk for the government. It'll be the same prosecutor in court against Mike Madigan. If Mike Madigan is not toast, he certainly is burned badly on one side.
So Chuck, I mean, you've watched this for years, for generations. For many people, this was how business tended to be done before, down in Springfield, power brokers here in the Loop and everywhere else. How much of a change does this kind of a verdict represent in Illinois Bank?
Well, over the years, trials like this, convictions, sending dozens of people to prison have represented no changes. People have continued to do things wrong, continue to be charged, continue to be convicted, continue to go to prison. In this particular case, you have arguably the most powerful politician in Illinois history who is facing a status hearing in July, trial in next April, and he's got a decision to make now when he realizes that a jury has decided that some of the facts that involve him were enough to convince them that there was a guilty verdict in bribery.
Every time we hear judges saying, hopefully someone will get a lesson out of all this, we'll see what happens this time around.
Well, there haven't been many lessons learned in Illinois over the years. That's what U.S. attorney after U.S. attorney has said.